Howdy folks, it's a Tall Turtle here and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and we're going to start another bush trip. I know we recently just finished the Nevada one, and it was six very long videos, but we're going to keep doing these bush trips just because they're fun and I've really been enjoying them, and we'll see what's up here. So what are we going to do next? We're going to do the Balkans next, and looks like with the USA update, there's Alaska one, which isn't part of the achievement system, but we'll worry about that later. So I turned off all my nav assistance because I want to get the achievement for this one. So it should just be like the Nevada one, as long as they don't hit back on track. We should get an achievement for it. So let's see, Rijeka. I should know how to say that, to Santorini, Balkans. So here we go. Let's click on it, see what it has to say. It says, journey to discover the vast open beauty of the Balkans, a sprawling multinational region rich with old world charm and even older world mythology. Explore glittering coastlines and evergreen forests, rugged hitherlands and rolling hills, sand-strewn beaches and crystal blue seas. This is the unparalleled splendor of the Southeast Europe on full display for you to behold. You'll be flying a Cessna 172 Skyhawk with a cruising speed of 124 knots. It is the ideal bush plane for sightseeing around the world. Assistance for the trip will be available in the form of the back on track button. However, be advised that using this will disable the achievements tied to this activity. Almost 1,000 nautical miles, 8 hours, which means it'll take me 20 and 16 legs. The legs are all pretty well. There's a couple long ones in there, but oh yeah, there's some long ones. Okay, I just have to plan it out, right? So let's see, starting at Lima Delta, Romeo Indigo. 8 hours later, we'll get to Lima Golf Sierra Romeo. So that's where we start, that's where we end, with a bunch of stuff in between. I don't think I need to say much else. Yeah, there's something else I was going to say, but I'll wait till we're in the airplane. Here we go. Alright, here we are outside the airplane. Looks like external views work, which is good. So something I wanted to say is supposedly the route... no. Supposedly, at one point in time, the route was in the GPS. So all you had to do was turn on autopilot and hit nav, and it would fly the entire bush trip for you, and you didn't have to know anything. What's really neat about this, though, is we do get to see like our next destination, for example, which in this case is Lima Delta Romeo Oscar, which may or may not be in range yet, you know, but we'll see it come in as we get closer. That type of thing. So that will be like a hint, and we'll be able to take the VFR map here and see where our airplane actually is. See, like this. See, there is our track here. Well, this is where we are here. You see what I mean? We'll be able to see on here if we're close. So it's going to be a lot easier to navigate than the one with the Cub, because we have this at our disposal, which, I mean, you kind of have to use it because that's part of the airplane. Why do we have a standby battery alert? Whatever. Otherwise, that's one thing I wanted to point out, is the navigation using the map versus your GPS. It's going to make it simple. That's just how, or simpler, that's just how it is. So hopefully we don't get completely lost like we did at the very end of the Nevada trip, where I had to call like an hour and a half because I was so lost. Oh my gosh, that was exhausting. So I've taken like 3 weeks off now. I know you just watched those videos, but this is like 3 weeks later as I record this. So without further ado, we know what's going on. So here we go. From LDRI to LDRO. 44 nautical miles, 21 minutes or so. Here we go. I'm sure that's not simply silo. I'm sure that means something, and I don't know enough about the language to pronounce that correctly, but here we go. Welcome to the Balkans. Your tour begins in Croatia. Oh, I want to go to Croatia so badly in real life, which is my wife, because there's fun stuff there when you don't have kids in tow. The land of 1,000 islands as you depart from Rijeka Airport and head southeast toward the coastline of Vinodolski Canal. In the distance, look for a nearly landlocked small bay, Zolin, and head past it to the hook-like bay and small coastal town of Silo. We've been here before in X-Plane on a subscriber request. We have flown this area right here in the 727. I think we flew over it. Yeah. That's awesome. In fact, one of my desktop wallpapers is my 727 flight flying over this area here. That's kind of interesting. Anyway, let's get back on track. So 3 minutes or so at what? Oh gosh, what was the cruising speed? 100. Oh, I missed what it said. 124 knots or something like that. We'll go faster than that, hopefully. All right, we're getting a slow start here because I have to get back into the groove here. So heading 134, which will be right here in front of our face. That's where we'll get our heading from. And our timer, which we could just do the timer here, but then we have to like scroll and click that button while the plane is shaking, so we're not going to use that timer. We'll just use this one. And what else do we need? Well, we need to know where we're going overall. LDRO. Where is LDRO on here? Oh, it's not that far away. So we come over here and compare. Does it show up on here? Yep, right. No, it doesn't. It's in here. It's right over there. So this is kind of weird because all we have to do is follow this and match it with that. We don't even need to look at this thing. We will though. So let's start the timer and let's get going and look for a hook-like bay, and then we'll go to the next thing. Alrighty, I think I'm getting in the groove. We have a set of flaps down. Whoops, just one set down. Parking brake off. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Like I said, kind of a slow start. Parking brake escapes. Why do I have tool tips or those tips? I don't want those tips to show me anything. Maybe they got turned on during the last update. So many things got reset during the USA update. Oh my gosh, half my key bindings were off. Other things were off. I had to go through everything with a fine-tooth comb, and I probably missed a few things, but that's okay. Hopefully that was just activity related. Okie dokie, here we go. We're gonna gain some altitude here, slow and steady, and flaps can come in now. And we're looking for hook-like bay, right? Which is probably right there. Hook-like bay. Let's zoom that in this way. And then what else we're looking for after that? Carry on traveling south towards the coastline. So we're going to go down here, then go to the coastline, follow the heading towards the gap between the two large hills. Alright, so we want 134, which will be less south than we are now. And then in 3 minutes we'll do 173, and so on and so on. We know how that works, but we kind of have a little cheat here. See? Alrighty, simple enough. What do we do? 134. I went too far because I was looking around. Alright, co-pilot, we know the drill. You can go away now, please. Thank you. Alrighty, looking good. Satellite imagery is on, I think. Sure looks like it is. Hopefully that thing gets screwed up. Jeez. Alrighty, we'll leave you with some sightseeing right out of the gates. You already talked enough. And enjoy the sights. I will be back with you in a little bit. There is a gorgeous town over there, but I just thought of something and I totally forgot. We can totally use autopilot on this. So let's hit heading and then let's do altitude. What do you want to fly at? Just do 8,000 for now. Let's do flight director, autopilot, heading bug, and then vertical speed, nose up. Let's nose up. 500 feet per minute, and hopefully it'll level off at 8,000. If not, then we have to do the VNAV like we did in the Caravan, which is weird because I've never had to do that before. So if we don't level off at 8,000, we'll hit VNAV and see if that works. If people are complaining about this not working after the new update, they said it flew right through. So anyway, we're going to keep climbing. Everything's looking good. Heading needs to go to the right a little bit, and then we'll come on. You're gonna follow, right? Yes, because there's our hook-like bay. We went over the hook-like bay. Then there's this bay, and then we go to the other coast. See? We go over this bay, and then we go to the other coast. So that's what we're gonna do. And we're ready for the next waypoint yet. Oh gosh, we're waiting. Yes, stop. Carry on traveling south through the coastline. We know that already. Track along State Route D102, heading southeast. After a short distance, we're bringing to the resort settlement of Nebraska, cultural and historical center situated on the bay. So we're going to come over here, right? We're going to go through these mountains, basically follow the mountains, head towards the bay. It looks like the town is right there. And then we'll see the next step. Okie dokie. See you a little bit this time. Longer sightseeing this time, I promise. Except for adjusting the heading bug, which I'm going to do right now. See you in a little bit. Alright, it looks like it is time to head towards the mainland here. And look for that coastal city here to get us to the state route. So what was that? It's 173 or so. Although in this case, we're going to have to go a little bit sharper because, oh my gosh, look at it. It tells us right here where to go. Do you see that? So it tells us we're a little, oh my gosh, just follow the purple line. And it'll take us there. What? What if I come down and hit nav? It should turn us to the right to get closer to that line. Oh my gosh, is it just going to take us there if we just look at the FMS? Is it going to take us on the whole route? We just have to look for the airport to land on it? That seems to be the case. That makes it really easy compared to the Cub one, the Nevada one. But you know what? That Cub one was pretty exhausting, the Nevada bush trip. So we'll just take advantage of it here. We just have to mind our altitude and our speed and the airport. So, okay, let's just let the FMS run it. Anyway, okay, there's a town there, right down there, and then we're supposed to turn over to the other town over there. So let's hop outside. We can do the drone because we have autopilot. So there we go. So there is your gorgeous town right there. Take a screenshot of that, and then any minute the plane should turn and head between the hills, which is hard to see with this glare. I'm assuming it's right here, but we'll have to see if the computer will do it. Let's find out. There it is. Nice. Put the drone away and hop inside and let the computer fly the bush trip. Oh my goodness. Okay, so coming up here, state route is right there. Track along the state route, which we'll be doing in a minute. So we're a little bit ahead of schedule here in terms of the wording. Yeah. Okay, I will see you when it's time to track the state route to the south. See you in a little bit. Alrighty, you can't quite see it over the nose, but there's a city back there, so let's pull out the drone. And if you go lower here, you can see there's the city we're looking for, and then through the hills, and there's a state highway there. So the big trick here, well, that's a cool shot, let's screenshot that. The big trick is going to get our altitude right, so that when we fly over this here, through the hill, over the hills, to get our altitude for the road and mainly land at the airport. We don't want to go over the mountains in terms of altitude and then not be able to come down for the airport. So that's what makes this difficult. So even though the GPS, or the FMS in this case, is going to follow us there and get us there, like this, you still have to manage, you know, a bunch of stuff. So it's not just like let the computer fly everything. Oh, by the way, it did level off at, I lowered to 6,000. It leveled off at 6,000 without the without the VNAV button. So I don't know why it was different in that other airplane, but it was. Anyway, we're about to see that city, which I want to have a good look at here. I might have top outside for it. Otherwise, we're going to go through here and follow the highway. So there's another road up here, it looks like. But the main highway must be this one right here. We'll get there in a moment. We're cruising right along. So let's zoom this in one. Not quite ready to zoom in. Yeah, we are. There we go. Alrighty, what's FMS going to do? We're still here, though. We're still tracking to... Oh, there it turns. It's tracking to the... oh my gosh, it shows up here, too. That's crazy. It shows up here, but it shows up there. So because it's here, why isn't it there? To be honest, that might be a bug then. Because if it's here, why isn't it there? Right? Very interesting. Alrighty, yeah, there's our highway right there that we're looking for. Okay, let's take a step ahead here. Head southeast along the road. We'll get there in a moment. From the bay, follow the rocky shoreline. What? From the bay, follow the rocky shoreline. When you... what? Track along state heading southeast. Okay. Then from the bay, track the rocky shoreline. Why would you do that? When you reach the shore's end, make your way across the water, gaining altitude as you go. Soon you'll arrive at Senj. There's a road here. I'm gonna turn there. Small bayside town. If you cross the footheads, look for State Route 23. Oh, maybe we're way up here. Maybe that's State Route 23 then. That might be where we are. After falling for stress, look for a major highway interchange, A1. Maybe that's A1. Maybe all... okay. This is probably A1 then. There's all these roads we're looking for that we're going over right now, and that's A1. Head southeast from the interchange. A1 motorway tunnels through the hills, leads to the river. Running southeast out of the Otakwak. Look for State Road D50s. You'll lead past dense patch of forest towards a grass airstrip on the eastern side. Eastern side. Okay. We're just going to let this go a second. And we're going to check this out here. We just entered. So on this one you scroll up to get closer. On this one you scroll down to get closer. Okay. So we're going to look for this water right here. Right there, right there, right there. And then follow that down. I mainly worry about altitude now, so I'm looking ahead through here. And our altitude looks like we don't want to go any higher, because we're going to have to come down eventually. Let's keep that up like that. Let's keep that like that for right now. Let's hop outside. That's gorgeous, isn't it? Wow. Okay, so there's all of our roads. Oops, I'm in drone view, I guess. Let's go like this. There we go. No, I don't see any. Yeah, there's some roads down there. See all these? No, those aren't roads. There's a road right here. So maybe those are the roads we were supposed to be looking for instead. I was looking for the big one? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I'm being really wordy on this leg. So let's just get back to sightseeing. I'm going to manage some altitude. I'm worried about coming down in the right spot. Anyway, I'm going to manage my altitude and stuff. Maybe come down a little bit. And then see a little bit. Alright, so we should just about be there. The thing that has me nervous is altitude. So there's some water, and then to the east is our runway. So there's the water. And the runway is probably right here, maybe. It's kind of north and south. Or maybe that's it right there. That could definitely be it right there. So, let's bring our altitude way down to like 2,000 or 3,000 feet. Nose this thing down super steeply. In fact, probably won't even let us. It's not even going to register it. So let's just kill autopilot. But we're going to keep an eye on. I'm going to keep an eye on this, our FMS, because I don't know where the airport is. So there's water. There's roads. The picture looks like this, which kind of looks like that, but I don't think so. What if we zoom this in a little bit and get an idea for where we are? This is still pretty challenging. And we're coming up on that really fast, it says. Based on this picture, it's kind of the direction we're going, right? I don't think that's it. I can't make out this water here. Let's not get too low yet till we see it. Let's just break off a little bit. Okay, that last bit of sightseeing was gorgeous, even if it did throw us off a little bit. I still can't make this out. I mean, there's oh, there it is. Right here. Right there. Okay. Let's land. Man, this is challenging. Even though we have this map right here in front of our face, it's still challenging, which I'm liking. But it's not nearly as challenging as the Nevada one so far. I should be careful. You never know what's going to happen yet, but this is really cool that it's different because we have that GPS and stuff. Alright, let's come in for a landing. We're kind of, this is airport, right? Right? This isn't, yeah, because there's that thing right there. Okay, good. I was going to say, wouldn't that be a bummer if we were landing like next door? Oh gosh, we got a lot of speed. Let's slip it in a little bit. That way we can come down quickly without gaining speed. Yeah, we can come down. That's too much. That's not working the way it should. So when you slip, you come down quickly, but you don't gain speed, because if you come down like this, 500, you gain a lot of speed, right? So we're just going to slip a little bit more here. See how we're not gaining speed, but we're coming down really fast. I don't want to do a go around. I hope this works here. I don't want to do a go around. Oh, we're coming in way too fast for a Cessna. Okay, let's just hover, let ground effects carry us along. There we go. Are we going to stop in time, though? Come on. Oh boy, might have to go around. Let's see if we can stop in time. Stop in time. We went past the runway. No, we didn't. No, we're still on the runway. Awesome. Okay, good. Hopefully this counts. Or else you have to taxi around till we find it. Nope, it's saving. That's right. You can tell by the autosave feature that was where we wanted to be. Alrighty, let's do another leg in this video. Here we go. Alright, we'll do a repair refuel, although we can see our fuel in this one. But if we do repair refuel, does it work? Oh yeah, all the way up. Good. Okay, leg number 2. Don't worry about the battery. Stop it. What do we got going on here? We are going to Lima Delta Zulu Delta, which on here is how far away. You gonna respond to me there, map? Where are you? Oh, this is a long one. That's not that long. So it looks like we're going through some prairies. Oh, it looks like we're just following a road the whole way. And then we go back out to the coast. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Alrighty, so let's zoom in a little bit here. And let's go over here and get this zoomed out a little bit. There we go. To match about. I'm not going to that one, but that'll get us going. There we go. Alrighty, hide that map, get out of here, and let's read about it. Mine, once in the air above the Otakwak, continue southeast along State Road D50. You'll pass back over Gaka River before reaching a fork in the road. To follow the southeastern branches, the road paths into the hills and past an expansive mine operation. Oh, by the way, when I edited the Nevada bush trip, I had Google Earth or Google Maps up, and I was following along, and it is so cool to do that, to follow along in Google Earth or Google Maps, whatever it's called these days. Highway interchange. After a little bit, you'll soon cross paths with the A1 motorway again. That must be what this big, huge thing is. Follow the interchange, short distance near the village. As you follow towards the south, it'll begin to curve and bend towards Eli, take you past Forest Bridge over the Wajadov River in the farther southeast. Alright, so this stuff doesn't matter as much, obviously, because we have the GPS, but if you want to read more, you can. I'm not going to read everything this time because it's not as big of a deal. Oh, looks like we're looking for a huge airport. Okay. We'll just look for a huge airport. You can pause and read all that stuff if you wanted to, but let's just get in the air and flight director on or off. Flight director on, we'll autopilot a little bit. Parking brake off. Make sure the first set of flaps are down, and let's get going. And we'll have a better approach on landing next time. Not sure. What? No, seriously. Did it put us on the end of the runway? I don't see the markers. Well, the markers are way over here. Okay. Okay. That's pretty funny. And upsy daisy? Yeah, barely. Holy moly. Let's get some speed here before we go for some altitude. And brakes to stop the wheels. And flaps coming in. How did I know that it would have two sets of flaps? Alrighty. Let's just do autopilot right away. Because why not? So let's do autopilot nav and altitude. Let's go back up to 6 grand until we figure out what we need. There we go. We'll climb up 500 feet per minute if we can. We might be a little more aggressive. Yeah, we'll watch based on speed. We'll climb based on IS. I'll adjust the nose for that. Even steeper. Okay, good. Alright, anything else we need to do? No, let's just trust the nav. Let's trust the computer. It's not turning us yet. Why aren't you turning us yet? Hello? Let's do this first. Okay. Let's do heading bug first. Is it going to turn us? Yeah. Okay, now let's do nav. GPS. There we go. Interesting. People are complaining ever since the US update it doesn't follow nav, but it seems like if you do GPS or if you do heading first and then nav. Very interesting. We better climb. Can we be a little more aggressive in our climb? Yes, we can. There we go. Okie dokie. I'm going to keep this over here and I'm going to refer back to this a little bit. If you want to reread that stuff, just go back in the video. And let's do some sightseeing. See you in a little bit. Alrighty, let's bring our altitude up to 6,000. Nose up a little bit. And because we're going to be curving over these mountains pretty soon. If you want to keep track of where we are, we're right around here. Start gaining altitude as you continue along the road. You will come past 2 highway interchanges before the road disappears into the tunnel, which is going to be right over here. The tunnel is surrounded by dense forestry atop the Velebit Mountains. Adjust and turn southwest before heading up and over the mountainside. So this is about where we are right now. In the little storyline here, I guess in the nav. So there's a road we're following, is going to go through a tunnel, I'm assuming, and then that's going to take us here. That's a tunnel for them. Then over to this line. Once you've crossed the peak, find the road again. So we'll be getting there in a little bit. Just wanted to point that out for those of you who are following along. It does feel kind of cheaty having the GPS and autopilot do all the work, but at the same time, it is really nice. So what I wanted to do, since we have this advantage, I wanted to hop outside and just look around, not even with the airplane, just look around. Let's go above the airplane and just enjoy all of this. I'll just move the drone around slowly here. Where's my slow down button? And let's just enjoy this for a moment. I wanted to point out a stripe. If you look down, see this, how the road changes right here? Because that's when they do the aerial imagery for Bing Maps. They go at a different time and they're striping. They were talking about that during that documentary that was posted for the flight sim. There's a documentary by, gosh, I don't know what it is. Zero Clip or No Clip Gaming or something like that. That a documentary, and the guy was talking about the imagery and how they're striping and how they have all these algorithms to try to clean this up. But it looks like there's something there that the algorithm didn't know what to do with. You can see that stripe going across. You can see it. You can see that stripe going all the way down. That was one pass of imagery with an airplane. This is another pass. That's kind of cool. I never thought I'd be able to spot that, but we did. Alrighty, what's going on? Is this thing going to turn us or what? It should turn us pretty soon. And then we'll follow the mountain, follow the road over the mountains, I guess. I don't know. I'm putting way too much faith into this GPS, I think. I should probably pay a little bit more attention to make my own decisions here. Well, there we go. Never mind. Trust the GPS. Trust it all. Okay, our road is going into a tunnel, which we have to hop outside to see. Let's go down here. There we go. The road goes into a tunnel, but we're going to fly over it. And then, let's put the drone away. There we go. And then we're going to go over there somewhere. Looks like there's some water. I'm talking about behind the compass. If we come down here, that's probably this stuff here. And then, we'll look for the huge airport and begin to land. I assume if I looked in the right spot, I could spot it now, but I don't know where it is enough to find. Wait, it's not right there, is it? No, because that's the water there. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend. When it's in sight, we'll prepare to land on it. Because, I mean, yeah, it could be that. It could be anything. So anyway, we know it's in this area. The GPS will take us. And we'll prepare for landing in a moment. I just wanted to point out that our mountain tunnel is right below us, and then we'll see the road on the other side. Actually, let's catch up. Once you've crested the peak, which is right here, find the road again as it goes over the strait, and then a good 8 minutes or so, find the bridge. From the bridge, you're going to go to a bridge, right? Because the bridge has to cross that stuff. Oh, come here. The bridge is here. Find the bridge. And then once you find the bridge, the load will reach southwest along the shore, and you will see an enormous airport. Can't miss it. Can't miss it. It's going to be enormous. So there's going to be we're going to crest this, we'll find the road, and then there will be a bridge over the strait. There's the strait right there. There's the bridge. Then look for the airport. Simple enough. I'm keeping a lot of sightseeing in this leg, because some of the other legs from the Nevada trip, I really just cut out most of it. But we're keeping a lot in, but we'll see how this goes. See how many episodes this ends up being. Oh boy, let's not hit those mountains. Alright, I'll give you some sightseeing. There's our strait right there. Nope, I was wrong. Our strait is actually right here. I don't know what that was over there. That must be a river? No, what? Oh, that's that. Another little thing, which I guess isn't a strait? I don't know. Bridge is going over there. We're going to follow this along, and there it is. There's the runway right there. See it? Nice. So airport is in sight, so once we get a little bit closer here, we will break free of autopilot, and we will land ourselves. Very nice. Good. Very straightforward. Looking good so far. Still trying to judge our altitude of the airport. We're at 3,300 feet, and I'm assuming the airport is more or less, well, I shouldn't assume it's more or less sea level, because look at all this stuff going on here, and that's east of it. So I'm not sure. Looks like that's our other runway direction. It didn't tell us which one to land on. I don't think it cares. Not for this stuff. You can land anywhere at an airport. Don't even have to mess with most stuff. So these are a lot less complicated in terms of the airplane flying. It's just navigation stuff. But in this case, what have I said a dozen times now? We have a GPS, so whatever. We can just use the log to tell us what exactly we're looking at. Just checking things out, just redoing some presets. That one still needs to be fixed, but oh, wait a second, that looked really cool. The town along the road to the right. But we really should be landing a plane. It's just a very long, straight approach, which means I have no excuse for turbo landing at all. We will lose speed in a minute. Don't worry. I know we're going really fast, but we have plenty of time here to slow down. We'll slow down once we get to the next row of houses here. And we're about to reach the next row of houses. As soon as we get there, we will slam on the brakes. Then we'll start slowing down, and we're going to look at the end of the runway, because it does look like it's on a little plateau type thing. So do not look at the train. You'll run into the end of the runway and look at the runway. Yeah, the train's going to come up on us a little bit here. See how easy that was to slow down? Piece of cake. It's a Cessna. It's easy. It's fun. It's not boring. I think a lot of people think that the easier planes to fly are boring, and that is not true. No way is that true. I really enjoyed GA stuff so much. It is fun to take out the Cessna longitude every once in a while. The citation longitude for long distance, high altitude flight. But other than that, I really prefer the GA stuff. Alright, coming down. Keep an eye on our speed. We do have 2 sets of flaps out. And we're just going to come down and bleed off speed. I don't know why the sim is doing that. Probably because it's late at night. Not that late. My kids aren't to bed yet. Alright, let's level this off here. Slow down. Land right at stall. Just kiss the ground. There we go. Let it land itself. keep the yoke all the way back so the nose wheel comes down gently on its own. And nose wheel down, rolling it out, flaps coming in, and slam on the brakes and get our acknowledgement. There's the save. And there we go. Let's do one more leg. And I gotta make sure my kids are fed and get them ready to bed here. Alright, we'll do repair, refuel, even though we have plenty of fuel. Alright, where are we headed here? We're headed to Lima Delta Sierra Papa, which, if you look on here, come on, is just along the coast. So we're not even going to get that much altitude, maybe 3,000 feet. We'll see about here, though. Oh, well, yeah, maybe we'll head for 5,000, and then we'll have to maybe circle to land. We're going to be pretty high for this. We'll see. We'll see. Lima Delta Sierra Papa, right? Sierra Papa. Alrighty, let's zoom this out a little bit. Where is it? It's down there, right there. Zoom that back in just so we know what we need for clearances or altitude. Alrighty, let's not click back on track. It's going well, let's not screw it up. And let's read all about it. Highway interchange, depart from the airport, heading southeast, and quickly you'll notice a road running in the same direction. Right there. Follow it and eventually you'll pass over a highway, reuniting with the A1 motorway, which now is there. So there's something going on here before we get there. Town of Beknovak, which as I edit this, I'm sure I'm looking at Google Maps right now because it's so fun to do that. We'll read ahead a little bit here. Continue southeast along the road. After a while, watch for the waters of the river sluicing. Is that supposed to be slicing? Maybe that's a real word. Look it up. I'll put it on the bottom of the screen if that's a real word or not. Real word or not. Sluicing under the road and running southwest toward a lake in the distance. Progjensko Juresko. So we're going to head down here and head to this big lake. Must be that one. And then once you get to the lake, I could be wrong because I don't have Google Maps up. But as I edit this, I do. So that may or may not be the lake. At the banks of the lake, make your way down this western shoreline. Let me zoom out a second. That has to be the lake. I mean, it could be that, but I'm pretty sure it's that. I don't know until I edit if I'm right or wrong. You'll find an inlet for another river. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Because there's an inlet outlet. Anyway, moving along. You'll find inlet for the river running southwest. Follow it a short distance to Marina, the historic city of Šibenik, the oldest native Croatian town on the shore of the sea. Alrighty, head southeast following the heading toward the sea. Okay, so, we are going to, no, that's the lake. Yeah, so we're going to go towards that lake and then follow it to the sea. And that will take us to, here. Okay, then once we get to the sea, which is here, there's a bay on the side of the wall of circuit built in 1497. Alrighty, so keep those up once we get to the bay, to the sea, sorry. Then we'll come back here. So that's quite a bit of stuff there, but since you have the GPS, we're doing this a little bit differently than last time. We don't have to follow this painstakingly. So let's get going. We're wasting time. Let's get cracking. And, oh my gosh, rudders. Dude, seriously. Get cracking and then have a whole bunch of sightseeing. We're going to get to the lake and follow the water that comes out of it, or into it, I guess. I said inlet. And then go to the sea. So that's what we're going to do. I'm probably going to give you sightseeing most of that time. Holy cow. You can follow along on Google Maps if you want to. Flaps coming in. Step on the brakes to stop those wheels. Oofda. And we should probably hand fly this over to our GPS track. Because sometimes if you do GPS and you're way too, or if you do autopilot and you're way too far off, it'll just spin you in circles. So let's go like this on our own. It's nice to hand fly sometimes, right? I'm just kidding, because I normally do mostly hand flying. Alrighty, let's see here. This will get us back on track. There we go. Let's do flight director. Let's come down here so I can see what's going on. Autopilot. Let's do this heading trick first. Heading. And then nav. There we go. Nope. Oh, because it wants to catch it there, then it's going to go to it fine. Altitude, because of those hills, let's do 6 grand. And then we'll see. Alright, I'm gonna have to keep checking back though, because if I go to the drone, it screws stuff up. So I'm gonna let this run that, keep an eye on it, and make sure it rejoins us before the road, or at the road, I guess. Make sure it rejoins us, and then make sure altitude's topped at 6 grand. If I have to climb more, I will, but I think 6 grand will be good. And keep an eye on that speed. We can nose up a little bit more. Alrighty, that's it. See how simple this is? It's actually pretty simple compared to the Nevada one. So I will get a lot of sightseeing, unless there's something interesting to talk about in between. I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, we've reached what I'm using as our cruising altitude as 5 grand, at least for now, to get us over the mountains that are coming up. We may need to climb a little more. Maybe. It's going to be close. But there's a lake that I was talking about in the narration. I guess it's not narration, it's the navlog. And there is the water that we're going to take out to the bay. Simple enough. I know I said I was going to wait until we got to the sea before I broke in, but it's been a long time flying. I cut out a lot of it just to save time. And I want to talk about something when I have these long stretches like this, like 20-minute stretches and nothing to do, because autopilot is actually working for some reason. I'd like to look around and check things out. And I found, on accident, I finally found the avionics dimmer. Finally. In this airplane. So I'm just messing with that for a little bit. So that's kind of nice. And then some other things you can mess with and play with. It's always fun to look around and learn the aircraft a little bit. I don't know which one is that one up there. Not these. Do these have their own thing? Oh, they do. Oh, that's weird. Why would... But there must be a control down here, I thought. I swore one of these. Not that. We want that one. Anyway, you get the idea. It's fun to mess around and learn the little nuances of everything. So, what are we going? We're heading towards the sea. So let's read ahead on this. A run towards the sea. Road runs straight from the bay. And follow through the valley towards the hills on the northern bank. You'll soon see a small village surrounded by trees. So that's over here somewhere. From the tree line, Bling's Gornja. Follow. Look for a road running southeast parallel to the hills. Have short distance to the road or reach a junction. That's D58. Head southwest over the hills. That's going to be down there. We're a little bit ahead reading, of course. Past the patches of dense forest scattered across the peaks and crevices, which we're talking about like over here now. We can't see it past that peak. And eventually you'll arrive at another runway where you can land Zerkna, Jakna, Luka, Split. And from our orientation, it'll be, well, perpendicular to us pretty much. So we're looking for this town with the runway in the middle of it. It's going to be a ways yet, of course, because we have all this stuff to do. But, yeah, so we're going to go over these hills and then look for the runway. We're going to be approaching it kind of like this, so we'll probably do a short final into that. It looks like a town along the river. Shouldn't be too bad. Come on. There we go. It was way behind. Anything else to say or look at? No, not really. I mean, we're going to be heading towards the water soon, and then over these hills, which I have to keep an eye on because of altitude. So anyway, that's all I had to say. A little break. See, now we're reaching the sea like I promised, and back to sightseeing. And as soon as we crest these hills, we'll start coming down. Might have to do a circle to land thing. We'll see when we get there. Catch you a little bit. Alright, I assume our airport's like right in here. And we don't want to go directly there, of course, because we want to be able to do an approach. So let's do some heading bug action here. Come down to autopilot, hit heading, and let's actually go to the south a little bit. Well, not alt. Oopsies. Let's keep it all where it is. Let's go to the south a little bit so that we can approach the airport from over here. So see that water, I think we're going to head more towards that. Keep going, keep going, keep going. We want to head more towards this water here, and that way we can have an approach along the coast instead of right over the top of it. So that is the approach I'm going to take, pun totally intended, except now autopilot's going to get all wonky. Keep going, more south please. Thank you. Right down along here, come down here, and then land. Ooh, we're getting close to those hills and it's not happy with us, is it? Oh, look at the wind turbines. Cool. I was really enjoying watching the scenery, or the road and the scenery, and then this town that we just went over. Alright, so anything else? I think you read everything. On the hills from the bank, you should see small town. We just saw that, I believe. From the tree line, look for the road running southeast, but now we're going to divert a little bit because it wants us to go along here, but we're going to go south a little bit like this. And then head southwest over the patches, and that'll be where we end up. Alrighty, cool. Let's see, is this river on the map? I don't see that river on the map. I'm just curious if it's on there, because we're over here more. Nope, doesn't really matter. Alrighty, let's keep the heading bug where we want it though, a little bit more to the south, and we'll find an airport probably right here, I'm guessing. I'm guessing this yellow stuff is this stuff right here. So as soon as we crest over this, we should see an airport. See you in a moment. Alright, there's a little town. Do we see a runway? I believe we see a runway right there. right where it should be. So let's start coming down. In fact, we can probably hand fly in now. Autopilot. Thank you. We're done sightseeing for the most part, just because it's time to approach and land a plane. So I think it wanted us to follow this river over the crest, but then we'd be in the middle of the airport. So coming down nice and steep. Again, it's going to be steep like last time, but that's because we had to cross over some mountains. If you look behind us, or some hills, I guess. Mountains, hills, whatever. These are mountains if you're from where I'm from. Had to cross over them, so that means a steep descent. So anyway, look at that cute little town down there. Croatia. Love it. Lots of Croatia videos on YouTube. Seems like it's a very hot place all the time. Alright, there's a nice bay, lots of little towns to look at. We'll look around from the cockpit as much as we can. And why did that stall out on me? Some more little towns. How nice. Alright, keep an eye on the prize. There it is. We'll come out over these other islands and come in for a short final. So we're going to do like an oblique base here, so to speak. No ATC, no active pause, no checklist, just basic flying. Kind of nice, I guess, to keep it simple. As we come down below the train line, you can see how high we really had to be to get over those mountains. Hills. I can't remember if they called them hills or mountains. I think they called them hills, yeah. Hills, I guess. But look at those tiny houses. Those are pretty big hills. Alrighty, where is our runway? Oh, right in the sun. I can't see anything. Maybe that's the point. I think that's our runway right there. I sure hope so. Oofda. Anyway, look at all this gorgeous stuff as we go by, though. Appreciate as much as we can. And we have a nice, slow, long approach here. Wow, that is crazy as you come into the sun, but I love it. And we're going to go over the water instead of the hill, because that's a pretty big hill. So we're just going to keep it steady. We can keep a little bit of our speed up, though. We don't need to slow down quite so soon. I'm just checking out the town as we keep an eye on the prize, which I believe has 4 white pappies, so we're too high. We can't come down too low yet, quite this early, because of the hill there. Oh, another town to look at. And the sun coming down. Holy cow. And that cool looking bridge. Alright, let's start slowing down now. And, are we sitting kind of high? No. There we go, that's better. There's 2 and 2. Let's slow down and get into flapper range. Hey everybody, how's it going? 500. How's it going? You too. Look at those cool beaches and all the trees at the same time. Alright, first set of flaps. Let's not get too low. See what happens when you sightsee. Alright, crossing from the right, but not too bad. Let's keep our speed up. Normally you'd point down for speed, but we would hit the ground, so we're going to do throttles for speed. One of the rare moments you do that. There we go. But just keep pushing down, though, so you don't climb instead. See how that works? That's why it's normally throttles for altitude. Alrighty, now we're too high. Throttles back to come down. Second set of flaps out. There we go. And we're just going to coast it in. Throttles are back. And we'll come down. We're a little fast, so we're just going to let ground effects float us along a little bit. There are the ground effects. And a little bit left rudder to straight out the crab a little bit here. And let it float all on its own. And there you go, so smooth it didn't even register on the VSI. Look at that. Alright, start slowing down those flaps in because the wind is really trying to take us. And where's the save icon? There it is, and let's get our credit. There we go, 3 legs done in this video. I know it ran a little long, but that's just how these bush trip series go. And I'll see you next time for the next leg. Simple enough, see you then.